Hi everyone, it's Darcy here, and this is my video blog number 2 in regard to my binge eating. My apologies because the little man is nearby, so if you hear some squawks, hopefully won't be too distracting, but we'll play it by ear. We'll see how it goes. So as promised, I said I was going to be discussing the causes of binge eating, although they are not really official. A lot of different schools of thought about that, or factors really at this point that people are aware of. So I'll get into that, and then also I'm going to discuss, get pretty personal as far as where I believe the binge eating began for me, which really was just a result of overeating. So I will let you know where I believe that began for me. So to start, causes. So really very obvious, I don't know, but factors are definitely, there's biological, psychological, and of course social. So regarding biological, I certainly do believe that there's a definite predisposition for some people to have addictive behaviors, whether it's binging on what have you, but certainly I think some people just can handle stress as well, and some cannot, and so some people are prone to these kind of conditions, and some just find other healthier alternatives for whatever reason. I do believe there might be some biological explanation for that. Do I believe personally there's a biological tendency there for me? I don't really. I've done blood tests in the past. I'm even doing blood work now. We'll see what comes of it. I've checked my thyroid. I mean, I'm healthy otherwise right now at this point. So right now I don't believe there's any biological explanation. There's psychological, of course, and that's where depression can come into play, anxiety, low self-esteem, you name it. So that's definitely me. And again, shortly I'm going to get into detail regarding that. That's right, Alex. Anyway, then there's also social. So pardon that itch my nose. So there's pressure from media, and then also just criticism in general from whomever may be in your life, or even from strangers. So regarding pressure from media, I don't feel the effects of that too much, but again, more of the criticism. Haven't coped well with that in general. So how I developed the problem, I can tell you right now, I do not recall the very first time I sat down and have what I would call a binge fest. So an excessive amount of food in secret, and I ate very quickly. I can't remember that exact instance, but I can tell you that the poor relationship with food began when I was about 8, and that is when my parents separated, when my father left. I don't know if there were poor food choices available prior to, but I do know they were available afterwards, and I do know I just suddenly showed certainly an interest in them, and I started overeating things and eating whatever the heck was in the house. Now I will say, and here's my disclaimer, I guess. I certainly am not going to be saying anything in here, and there's no ill intent. However, this is kind of my truth. So my mother did her best in dealing with, divorce as best she could. However, now that I'm a mother, I guess I'm understanding more how much the responsibility does lie, no matter what you're going through, unfortunately, on what's going on with your children. And obviously, I have to believe that maybe just because of what was going on for herself, she didn't see that her eldest daughter was just not handling things well, and she was gaining weight. There was criticism. She was like, okay, why are you eating these foods? She knew I was the one eating the foods that were there, so now suddenly there's cookies and all this stuff around the house, and I was eating them. So was it dealt with in a positive manner? Absolutely not. There was a lot of criticism to this day, and again, I'm just being honest. This is my truth. I mean, there's still criticism. I kind of have to understand as a mother, in the sense that to this day, my mother does not accept me in the sense of my weight. This is such a focus for her, and so important to her still. I wish she could see past it, but it's just not feasible for my mother. It's not, and perhaps that's a lot to do with herself too. I don't know, but I can tell you it's very tough. And even to this day, at 38 years old, it affects me. So while I'm putting the blame to a certain extent on that being the start of this, and that being my past, and that being how this whole cycle began, certainly I have to take responsibility for the fact that I'm not handling it to this day, and I've got to tackle it myself now and deal with these behaviors and why I am handling and not coping with my stress as well, and still using food to this extent, at this now really high extent of a negative kind of impact in my life. So that's just the truth. That's where it began. That's where the poor eating began. I have to put it in perspective. Everybody's human. Again, I don't think, any ill intention. As a mother, it's tough too, because I see those shows with teenagers that are 100 pounds overweight and they're 10 years old or whatever, even preteens, and their parents are oblivious. I don't believe that. You know, if your kid is not doing well, maybe you just don't know how to handle it. But if anything ever happened to my son or daughter, I can see how if weight became an issue for them, I would have to blame myself. I would have to. It's up to me what food is put in my children's mouths. So I'm sorry. That's the reality. That's where it started for me. And I'm very adamant that I don't want that to happen for my children. But God help me. You know what? If whatever issues they may have, I just really hope I can handle it in a positive light and know that everybody battles something and come from that perspective. That's going to be tough, but I mean, I would like to believe that I can do that. I'm not going to be a perfect mom by any means, but I'm just trying to put it in perspective. Okay, so that's honestly it for today. Next time I'm going to talk about, I didn't even realize it's Eating Disorder Awareness Month. Thank you, Stephanie, for making note of that. So February is that. And she sent me a link. I haven't got a chance to look into it, but just about media and how it plays a role for girls and women. And oh man, I could probably have several blogs about that. I'm so pissed at the industry and just like how women are feeling about themselves. What the hell? Why are we letting this happen? I could go on. And I will on my next blog. So thanks again for listening. It's a pretty good day today. Thus far, I had some almonds for breakfast. That's great. But again, no binge fest yet today. And maybe because of the snow, I really just don't want to go out there. So that's just circumstantial, but yay. Anyway, till next time, thanks for listening. Oh, and thank you everyone for your support. Strangers and friends and everyone. It's been fabulous. I appreciate it, and thank you so much for watching. Till next time, have a great day. Bye.